grew up in York, Pennsylvania, moved to Philly, lived in New York City for a few years, came to Boise in 1996 and found home. And this agency that I just started in September is my second rodeo. So, second time I've owned an agency, and here we go. New into it right now. But I'm going to start with being a bit vulnerable with you all. This spring, things changed for me drastically, and I didn't see it coming. I didn't know it was coming. I was not prepared for what happened. I found myself with no agency name, no business card, no fancy title, just me, and really asking myself questions about what do I actually stand for? Who am I? Where am I going in my career and life? No, it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with, a lot to think about. Ultimately, this moment really became the most clarifying thing that's ever happened to me in my career. It really forced me to do the work that I've been avoiding. And I guess is that a lot of you are avoiding it too. So I'll start with the Creed's paradox. Everyone knows this, right? We spend all of our time helping others, but what do we ever do for ourselves? When someone asks us what we stand for, you may say something like, I'm just a designer, or do a little bit of everything, or I don't know, I'm creative, but I'm still figuring it out. Sound familiar, guys? It's the paradox that we all live with, and how do we figure out how to, be who we are? Of course, that's personal branding. So here's the question. What if we took all that knowledge we have and everything we do for our clients with branding and marketing and design and applied it to ourselves? To actually know what we stand for when the work gets hard or the industry shifts, or when you have to decide between the safe path and the true one. Right? These are things that you can lean on in your everyday activity. Relevance really isn't about chasing trends. It's about knowing who you are when everything else is changing around you. And I think that's what is true north, and that's what I'm here to share with you tonight. So obviously, personal brand is how people remember you when you're not in the room. It's the feeling they get when your name comes, right? They have probably an immediate response or thought about you. Whether they think of you when an opportunity arises or don't. Maybe they don't know what you do or who you are, or everything that you want to do. So you already have a personal brand, whether you know it or not. People already know you and have a feeling of you. So the real question is, are you letting it happen to you, or are you shaping it with intention? It's an opportunity to really figure out how you want to be known. So what is true north? It's a term. I love true north. I think, a lot of people talk about personal branding. To me, true north is more important than that, because it's really what is in you, what guides you. It's not your job title. Those change all the time. It's not your current creative style that evolves. It's not even the industry you're in. That might change too. Maybe you're a designer that gets into motion graphics, or maybe you are into photography and that takes you in a different path. Things change. But your true north doesn't change. It's your purpose, your values, the promise that you make to the people you work with and clients that you serve and people you interact with in life. My true north moment is really, again, finding myself without a job and thinking, how am I going to move forward? What do I do? What matters to me? And how can I put that into words? So this is what I came up with, which is, my true north is to lead with purpose, build meaningful relationships, and inspire others to achieve great things. That's it. Short but sweet. That's what I want to do with my life and how I want to carry myself. So this really became my filter, and really my yardstick to figuring out, is a relationship one that sits with my values and what I want to do. Tell a quick story. This actually happened to me very recently. This was in September. First week of starting my new agency and being out on my own again. I was approached by potential work. This big brand would have been great exposure. But in talking with this client and really get into it and leading with relationships matter. My true north. The culture felt way off with this company. The way they talked about their team, the way they dismissed the process, it didn't really speak to a good partnership or good opportunity. So I declined the work. I decided not to do it. And believe me, first week of a new agency, I could have used the revenue. But what happened was about a month later, this was in October, I got a call from someone that I've helped years ago. And a smaller project, better fit. It led to 3 more projects for this person. So in the end, it probably worked out better for me to stick to my guns and really, make sure I'm partnering with people that I want to partner with and that see my vision and my true north for that matter. So that's what happens when you follow your true north. Hopefully good things happen, but ultimately you're being known for and partnering with people that are like you or see your values. Right. So true north matters now more than ever. Certainly let's just talk about AI. I'm not going to talk about AI tonight, but this is that I need to talk about this because it's proof that true north is the most important thing right now. Of course, AI can design a logo in 30 seconds. You can write copy, you can generate layouts, yada, yada. We know what it does. And if you're a little bit scared, you should be a little bit. But here's what it can't do ever. It will never be able to do these things. Can't build trust and can't read the room. Can't push back on a creative brief because something's missing, right? Strategy's not there. It works with what you give, right? It can't bring 20 years of lived experience to a strategic decision. Never, ever. These are things that it just won't do. So that's your true north, right? The more automated execution gets, the more valuable strategy, relationships, and intuitive human aspects become. And that's really what is important. I love this quote. I'm not going to read it to you, read it, but it's really important to really think about, not how to compete with AI, but your job is to undeniably be irreplaceably you. That's it. That's why people choose you. That's why people become friends. That's why clients want to work with you. Again, that's your true north. So how do you do it? How do you build your personal brand? I'll give you some thoughts on that. And I'll start with obviously defining your purpose is really important. Good first step. Your purpose isn't a mission statement for your website, right? This is what you whisper to yourself when you're deciding whether to take a call, send the email, or walk away. So I'd like to take 30 seconds right now and have each of you think about, one value, one thing that you'd never compromise on. Just one thing, even if it would cost you a client or a promotion. What's one thing? Let's just take a minute. Think about that. I'll give you 30 seconds. Just ruminate on that. It's been time to write it down. After it. All right. That's the beginning of your true north. Whatever that thing is that you just thought about. That's it. Let's start there. That's a great place to be. For me, it's trust as a core value to build relationships. I believe that a relationship has to be based on trust with a client, partner, and with any situation. If it's not, we're not on the same page and we can't achieve the same results because we can't be honest with each other. Audit your brand equity. You already have more than you think as far as your personal brand. You got your credentials, what you do, social capital, relationships you already have. And this last one's big. Culture capital. That's your perspective, your emotional intelligence, your life experience. Important to look at. Now ask yourself, what gaps exist between the brand you have currently and the one you want to have? If you were to actually sit down and craft your own brand and be aspirational about where you want to be, what would the gaps be? For example, if people see you as the execution person, but you want to be the strategic person, that's your gap, right? Or maybe they see you as the safe choice, but you want to be the bold one, right? We got to put out the right thing. for people to know us is that for that to become our true north. So close the gap intentionally. Think about that. There used to be I'll tell this story because it's stuck with me for many, many years. I went to see, it was some like job career thing or whatever. And the speaker challenged everyone to think about what would the phrase be on your tombstone. It's kind of morbid. It's not super morbid. But I remember at the time it was like, well, mine is, guys, he is a good guy. That's it. He's a good guy. Period. And I've always, lived my life that way. Like that's just, honestly, if I think about when I'm not here, when I want to be known as, I was a good guy. So it can be that simple. It's a very similar thing. So construct your narrative. Your personal brand lives in stories, experiences, things that you've done and been a part of. People remember stories. They forget bullet points. That's why hey, what do you do? I'm a graphic designer. Cool. Let's move on. But if you have a story to tell or something deeper, that's your narrative that you're constructing. Think about stories. Think about a project that pushed you past your fear. Old creative risk that paid off. A moment you built trust with a client or team. Time you said no, and it was the right call. Again, these are stories. Keep them handy. Keep them ready to tell. I'll tell a story for me that I use all the time. Early in my career, I remember I had a client wanted me to just make it look pretty. I hear that on its graphic designers, and I just fix it up, make it look good. I did it. The work was forgettable. I was miserable. Nobody won, right? So I started pushing back on this client and asking questions. What problem are we solving? Who are we really talking to? What are their pain points? How will we measure success in this project? And half the time, this client got annoyed with me. But the other half, they leaned in. The work got better. I got better. So that's the story I tell about my process as a designer and why relationships matter and why we have to work together. It's real, it's relatable, and it shows what I stand for. So think about, your stories. What are experiences you've had that really were defining moments for you? Definitely great things to think about. Don't just tell your story, live it. Here's a few examples. Maybe you decided that trust is your thing, all right? That's what you want to be known for. Show up on time, follow through, don't ghost. Simply put, curiosity is your thing. Ask better questions, share what you've learned. I know people like this in my life, and I appreciate them very much. Love it. If craft is your thing, sweat the details, don't ship mediocre work. That's what you will be known for. That's what you want to do. Again, make it intentional. Don't just go about your day and people have an idea of what your personal brand is. Control it. Communicate and embody it. You stop trying to be everywhere. Start being somewhere and do it consistently. Here's some examples. A couple things to think about. Obviously, social media is great. Sure. Events are great. And I think showing up and being part of them are great. Again, thank you all for being here. That's a big deal. A thoughtful note to someone whose work you admire. I love doing that. Things that blow me away. Alex Rhodes is here. Give you a compliment today. Great work. And it's good to be a part of your community and do that online and intentionally. And when you see good work, thank people for it. It's great to be that way. Socialize your brand. Certainly, we all need advocates. Here are a few different types of advocates. Hopefully, you have people in every one of those categories in your life. If not, great to find them and meet them and identify them for sure. And certainly, the big tip here is to be an advocate for others first. Before you post about yourself, post about someone else. Share their work. Write a comment, make an introduction. You should know this person, you should know them. Strongest personal brands are built in community. So be a part of the community, and that will help you build your personal brand. Hope talk about this real quick too, because not everyone is going to own their own business or wants to or chooses to. But maybe you're a freelancer. Your personal brand is your business. It's your identity that hiring. Maybe you work in-house of a corporation. Your brand opens internal doors, right? Be strategic, helps you to meet new people within the company, be known for something. Maybe you work in an agency. Balance your voice with the companies. Be collaborative, right? Those coworkers of yours are future employers, future partners, future partners in crime, whatever you want to say. But those relationships are important, and they know you because of your personal brand. So obviously your personal brand changes all the time. It's a living thing that evolves, grows, it shifts. Designers become strategists. Strategists become founders. Founders become educators, right? It can be a full circle of things. What doesn't change is the why underneath. Your true north should not change at any point in time. And the nice thing about having a true north is when things don't feel right, you go back to it and say, well, here's me. Why doesn't this feel like the right thing for me? What's off? What's going on here? And I've done every month since I started this process, and it's really helped me to make some decisions and figure out what's a good fit for me. Your brand is a filter. And I think if you're burned out, it's because you probably said yes too much, right? You want to make everyone happy all the time. If you're doing, you're taking on things that maybe aren't aligned with who you are. It's not good for the soul. It adds up, it builds up, and you're hurting yourself. The great thing is this gives you permission to say no. I have found myself talking to many clients recently about, am I the best fit for you? And whether or not they're a good fit for me. I couldn't do that before I had personal growth. Anyone with a checkbook was a good fit for me. Right? Anyone who wanted to hire me for my skills was a good fit. But that's not true anymore. Now I have the opportunity to say no, and it's in everyone's best interest, right? It's in my best interest and theirs. Maybe I'm not the back to that work where make it look good, right? Just make it look pretty. I wasn't happy. I'm not going to be happy if I take on things that aren't a good fit for me. So that's the opportunity. Your brand isn't just what you say yes to; it's what you walk away from. All right, I'll talk about some common traps. This is pretty fun. Let's do this, and maybe some of these sound familiar for some of you, but of course, being a perfectionist, I'll start when my portfolio is perfect. I need to rewrite my LinkedIn headline one more time. It's a bad trap. Your perspective right now is valuable. Don't wait a minute. Start doing it now. You don't need permission. Right? Give yourself permission. The imposter syndrome trap. This is for all of us, even 30-year career, right? Who might have a point of view on that topic or subject. I'm not senior enough. I haven't done anything worth sharing. You don't need 20 years of experience to have a personal brand. It's just a fact. You need clarity about what you care about right now. And you need to start right now. It will evolve. But think about it. Put some work into what it's all about. The comparison trap. Everyone else is further ahead. My work isn't as good as theirs. This happens to all of us, right? No matter where you are in your career, it's irrelevant. You may be comparing your chapter 1 against someone else's chapter 20. It's not healthy to do. And be inspired by it. It gives you lots of time to really be who you want to be. The visibility trap. I get caught up in this one myself. I need to post every day. I got to be relevant. People have to see me. I need to be on every platform. Instagram, I got to get that LinkedIn thing done today. I have to send an email. No, not. Nope. You just need to be findable and memorable. It's, you always hear the term, these people that speak very few, they say few words, but when they do, they're worth listening to. It's that same theory with how you're, the visibility that it's looking for. It's just a designer trap. And we talked about this one, but don't undersell your strategic value. I remember when the book, it's written by Daniel Pink. There was a quote that came out. It was in the Harvard Business Review. It said, the BFA is the new MBA. And it was talking about the fact that graphic designers and creative people have strategic value in the boardroom. And it was the first time that like the business world, Harvard Business Review is like, wow, yeah, there's something to this. Creative people do know a lot and they do have a seat at the table. That's important. None of us are just designers or just creatives or just a copywriter. They're more than that, always. And the hustle culture trap. So this is, like not always be on. I'm hustling. I'm doing it all the time. I'm always out there. No, just need to be you, authentically. Let's do a little exercise. I'm all about this. This is great because this one really helped me a lot. One of my goals in defining my true north, and this was actually before I even thought about true north at all or personal branding. My only goal was to introduce myself without a job title. How could I was doing a lot of networking, going to a lot of business lunches and chamber things. And I didn't want to say I'm just a graphic designer because I'm not. But this was a great way to really a framework. Again, you can steal this. This is worth thinking about. The power bio statement is ideal audience achieve a dream outcome without something they want to avoid, right? But it gets better because we can give it some teeth with a really provocative statement as well, which is a good thing to do. Again, we're looking to be memorable. They'll probably never forget it if we come up with some really great stuff, right? Most people think blank, but in reality, blank, right? Creative strategist guy going to a business luncheon. I'm going to give him something, right? Then you're going to not forget me. So here is mine. I help businesses turn challenges into brand and marketing results, proven results, and transparency. But most people think branding is about logos, but in reality, it's about relationships. Pretty controversial. I don't know that business people always think about that, or my audience doesn't always think about that. Here's another one. And by the way, I have many different versions of this, depending on where I'm going and what I'm doing. But in reality, few know the difference between good and bad strategy and creative. How do they know? How do they know if it's good or not? Hopefully they have results and know if it worked or not, but how do we know if the actual creative is good? This is a good logo. This is not a good logo. Do they know? Does a business owner or founder know? Probably not. So that's a good provocative power bio statement and some things that you all can think about. So challenge tonight. I want to give you a challenge. Write down your true north. Think about it. It could be messy. It doesn't need to be done. We're not fishing it tonight at all. Identify one person to advocate for this week. Share their work. Community over competition, right? Do one small thing to communicate your brand. Post something or take LinkedIn or whatever it is that you do. Send an email. Something for your personal brand. You don't need to overhaul your life tonight. It's not what it's about. Just take one step towards the line. One step forward. Just really giving this some thought coming up. One thing to keep in mind. You don't need a perfect personal brand. You need a true one. Relevance isn't something you choose. It's something you attract. So certainly thinking about all this and really putting pen to paper if you're up for it. It's a really great exercise, really great things to do. Build yourself a brand platform. Ask yourself some tough questions. Try to answer them. Think about your target audience and what their pain points are. What are they looking for to partner and why you? All of that can be defined and help you out. Have it in your back pocket when you meet someone. It'll go really well, I promise. That's me. That's it. I'd love taking questions or thoughts from anyone.